Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 3 of Civilization Beyond Earth. Still only have one city, although I have found a really good spot for a second one that hopefully I can get a colonist out and settle it before anyone else does. Other than that, we're just having a little bit of a scout around with our explorer. We did clear out an alien nest down here because there was massive swarms of aliens right outside of our borders. Haven't actually done any direct damage to any aliens at all, apart from one siege worm that was getting a little bit too curious about my city. But apart from that, things are going relatively well. All of the AIs have now dropped in, and we are currently in second place. But I'm not too worried about score. I think Civilization 5 has proved to us that score doesn't really make much of a difference. We're one turn away from getting a new virtue. We still have 4 positive health, and we are making some positive energy, which is all really good stuff. Got a unit that wants to move. You're just going to fortify there. Nothing for you to do. So on to the next turn. It should heal up automatically as well because it's fortifying and not doing anything. So we can develop a virtue. So what do we go for? Do we go into additional science or do we go into additional production? Getting standardized architecture is still a really nice thing to get, mainly because we will have a second city soon and we'll be able to build the buildings there a little bit more quickly. That said, we only need one more virtue in sort of tier 1 and we will unlock a free virtue anyway. So, out of this ones, would I like an earned culture equal to 30% of the net positive health? Well, it's not an awful lot. If my net positive health, like at the moment, is 4%, well, it's 4, 30% of that rounded off is going to be 1. So it'll give me an extra 1 culture per turn. Whereas gaining each tile generates 0.25 science for every population. Well, we only have a population of about 4 as well. But I think my population is going to grow more quickly than my my health. Especially if I'm about to set up a second city. So I think we go for laboratory apprenticeship and get the additional science. That gives me a free virtue, which I'm going to put into standardized architecture. And that will help us on our next city. So what are we going to build now? We can actually have 2 trade vessels, but we haven't got anything else that we can trade with yet. So we're going to start work on our colonist. You are now going to have a look up here and see what you can find. There's probably not a lot of exciting stuff up there. Trade convoy, established trade route. So, we could actually trade with Magan, which would give us 1 science per turn, but will give them 2 science per turn. Or we could trade with the Palatine, which we want to, which will give us an extra 4 culture per turn. And if you don't trade with these stations for too long, they will actually disappear. So it's definitely worth trading with them as soon as you can. Looks like our worker has finished the farm here. That is quite nice. There's not really an awful lot else for him to do at this point. I mean, we could go ahead and build another farm here, which we probably will. So that is in fact what we're going to do. Do we want to get the farm here or do we want to go up to the top and actually build it on the grassland? That would be a better farm. So I think we will actually move all the way up there. Still working these tiles, I hope, because we've got the solar collector running. We could move you out of 1 food, 1 production and get 1 food, 2 energy. That would be quite nice. Obviously we're stagnating because we are currently working on a colonist, so there's probably not a lot of point working the food tiles at the moment. We might as well work the more production heavy tiles. 14 turns for the colonist, 14 turns for the colonist. I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference, to be honest, so probably just leave it as it is. So we've got some petroleum and we've got some gold up here. We'll have a little look around down on this side. Not found as many expeditions as I would have liked. There's genetics discovered, so we can now build the farmer lab and the cyto nursery. So let's start looking down in this direction. We know we'll be going through miasma again. We have found some more titanium, some more geothermal. Not massive amounts of these 3 strategic resources on the map so far, which is a little bit disappointing. It's certainly going to make any kind of affinity victory a little bit more difficult. Now that we have genetics, the alien preserve is also a really nice thing as well, and paddocks, We're definitely going to need both of those at some point. We could also go into genetic mapping to get the purity affinity, and that would also give us the gene vault. The gene vault is actually really, really nice, although the AI does tend to rush it. It costs a lot of production to build, whereas chemistry is probably going to be much better for me. I could try and get it. We'll give it a go. We'll go for genetic mapping. This may be a mistake, but I think our science output is pretty good. It's not fantastic, but I think it's pretty good. So we'll definitely give it a go. Right, you've taken some damage from the miasma. We knew that was going to happen, so that's fine. Quest updated. Kill 10 alien units, which we probably won't end up doing. Who knows, we may do. I mean, if we're not going for harmony. Discovered another station, which would give us 2 culture and 2 science. Could potentially trade with that if we go ahead and get ourselves another trade convoy. A lot of Phyrexites around. It's almost worth considering going for a supremacy victory here. But, yeah, who knows? Unit needs orders. You're going to build a farm. 11 turns. Where was that other station? How far away is it? Didn't even see where it popped up now. There it is. Could we trade with that? Yes, we could. Do we want to trade with it? What would it give again? So you ever click on one of these stations, it'll actually tell you. So it'll give 2 culture and 2 science per turn. But once you've completed 1 trade route with it, then it will become tier 2. When it becomes tier 2, it would be 2 culture and 4 science per turn. Getting science per turn would definitely be good. And I can still have an additional trade convoy. In fact, I can afford to purchase one. And that is exactly what I'm going to do, because trade convoys are great. Now, you used to be able to get up to a total of 3 trade routes in a city if you had the quest decision upgrade for the workshops. I think that has now been changed. I think it's a maximum of 2 trade routes per city, just to make things a little bit easier. Okay, unit needs orders. We have our explorer. You are going to continue to explore and hope that the wolf beetle leaves us alone. We're quite close to Crabrost here. In fact, if there is any resource pods nearby, they've probably already gone, thanks to those guys. This trade convoy, I would like you to definitely trade with this outpost. This is much better for me. I could trade with Magan. Magan would give me 1 science. This would give me 2 and 2 culture, and I'm not giving Magan any science in return. So we're definitely going to trade with that outpost. The station. The best trade routes to have are internal trade routes between your own cities, but obviously we only have 1 city at the moment, so that isn't really a major concern. Unit needing orders. We're going to get stuck here at the moment because we don't have open borders. This crater counts as a mountain. It is impassable terrain, as are these canyons here. So I think we're actually going to double back and come down in this direction and go and have a look around and see what we can see. Our explorer may become redundant pretty early on, but we'll just have to do our best with him. On to the next turn. Let's start bringing you down here. So again, we're getting into one of those points where we're getting quite a few turns where we're just sort of clicking next because there isn't an awful lot to do. We've got a satellite come down, which is a fantastic thing. In fact, so much so, I think I'm just going to bring you back and get you to just do an expedition on that. I don't see too much point in rushing around now to try and find expeditions and resource pods, because I figure that any of the ones we've missed are going to be close to the AI, and there's a very good chance that the AI will have already pillaged them anyway. So we've got another station that has appeared. That would give us 2 energy and 2 trade. That would be quite nice, but we don't really have the facility to deal with that at the moment, so we're just going to continue to move to... Oh, dear. That's very, very annoying that those guys have moved on to it. I'm still going to move towards it. I may actually end up declaring war with them and just attacking them so I can get it. We'll see what happens. You are going to move down here. And a generator's not a bad idea in case we need some more gold later on. Very, very annoyed about those guys doing that. Soldier, you're going to move over here. Yep, they are setting up an expedition on it. That isn't going to last very long. They're going to find that that is quite difficult for them. He's actually miles away. So I'm not too worried about him or her being there. So I'm actually just going to declare war at this point. Simply because I don't want them stealing that, that crashed satellite. On to the next turn. The chances of them actually breaking the expedition are minimal at best. So we are going to move in. You guys are going to do as much damage to them as possible. What are you going to do? Let's get a generator, actually. It's not a bad idea on that tile. They're also in second place, so as soon as we can peace out with them, we will. Wow, they actually got it. Wow, quest failed. That's really, really annoying that they got that so quickly. I'm sure it was only... There's no way they could have done that at that sort of speed. I'm very, very annoyed about that. You can just sort of hunker down. Might go ahead and kill their other explorer. Another one of those things will appear eventually, but that has really ticked me off. So what are we going to get now? Plus 0.5 health for every trade unit under my command. Well, I only have 2 at the moment, but when I get a second city, I'll have 2 more. So that's not a bad thing to have. We also do want to try and build that wonder. So getting that might not be too much of a bad idea. It also means we only need 2 more virtues, and we get a 10% production and a 10% energy boost in the capital. So it's probably worth going down that sort of route of things at the moment. Okay, you're going to just move there. You're going to move... Well, you've got a veterancy level, I think. Have you? Is it you? Yes. So you're going to get increased damage. You're going to go in and instantly attack. Should be able to finish them off relatively easily. You can continue to heal up. Let's go on to the next turn. I say I don't really want to go to war with anybody, although saying that, this game might end up being a slightly more aggressive game, given the fact that the last game that I did was very, very passive. Really struggling to finish these guys off. I may have to just fortify up here. I mean, we could go and attack with our own explorer. It'd certainly help, I suppose. There we go. Might just be able to do it now. We've now finished our colonist, though, which is fantastic. So, what would we like to get here? I'm going to go for the Cyto Nursery, I think. It's only going to be 9 turns. Or do we go for the Vivarium? No, I think I'm going to go for the Cyto Nursery. It's only going to be 9 turns. We might even be able to shave a turn off that. And that'll coincide quite nicely with the genetic mapping research being finished, and we might be able to go and get the gene vault there. That's the end of that turn, I think. Colonist, well, you're going to have to start moving out in this direction, and this guy will be able to protect you a little bit once we get to that point. Luckily, you don't have too far to go, so I'm not too worried about it. Decisive victory. Wasn't that decisive because we didn't win. But there we go. They are actually destroyed. So we are going to have to heal these guys up. We still need to move our colonist forwards. Still can't believe that they're literally right next to my own borders and they nick that satellite. That is so annoying. It's very unlikely that they're going to accept peace now.
你好.
Oh yes, they would be.
我在听着呢.
No, unacceptable.
改天再试一试吧.
5 energy per turn and open borders. No. I'll just stay at war for now. You can move up onto this hill for better vision and heal up. You can move onto this tile along with the... You can heal up, but it won't make any difference. Yep, she actually wants it to end. Well, how about we just go for white peace? No, well, don't come to me with the offer if you're not willing for peace. So, let's just move these units up. Do have to be careful here because there are aliens nearby. Finish that generator. That is fantastic. What do we build now? Or do we start moving you up here? So, well, there's no point actually. There's nothing up there you can start upgrading yet. That titanium is just out of range, which is a real pain. I dislike that very, very much. What is worth an upgrade for us? I guess you could come down here. Oh, we found another resource pod. Getting to it, though, is going to be next to impossible. So let's go on to the next turn. And let's have a farm. Colonist. Outpost. Okay, apologies for the small cut there, but just managed to choke myself for some reason. So, we've now founded an outpost, which will slowly grow. The first outpost you found, get always gives you a free sort of unit, so we'll put him in there to defend it. And you can get back to the city and you can go and heal yourself up. Quest completed, found an outpost. I'm so annoyed about that satellite still. I shouldn't be, but I really am. Now these guys could still attack, because we don't actually have a fence here. You can't build anything here until the outpost is properly founded. I was really hoping you didn't stop in that miasma. Luckily you didn't. You are going to have to work your way back into the city though. Yeah, getting that resource pod is going to be next to impossible unless we start shooting at a lot of aliens. Let's go on to the next turn. So, you can get yourself back in the city and you can heal up. Everything around here seems relatively safe for now. And fortify until healed. Okay, there we go. We've finished that now. We are one turn away from gene mapping still. Can't really build anything in one turn. So what I'll do is I will put one turn into social development, just so we get a little bit of extra culture, and hit the next turn button. So the turn doesn't become wasted. We've now got one level in purity, which is really nice. Going to go back into our city, and we're going to work on the gene vault. It's 20 turns, but we might get it. We need to choose a new science. I think at this point we are going to go into chemistry. So let's go ahead and do that. It's nearly always worth getting all of the things that are sort of directly around the centre before doing anything else. Computing is something that you need to get relatively quickly as well, but that is something that we will do. Upgrade available. Our soldiers now become Marines. So we can either give them 5 hit points healed when not embarked, or give them an extra 15% when attacking. Well, I think that's quite obvious. It's going to be the attacking. We can upgrade our rangers, even though we don't have any yet. Can we? No, that's level 2. Not sure why it went to that screen. Can't upgrade the rangers yet, but we don't have any anyway. We can build them, just don't have any. So this guy's fully healed. Let's go back out and explore. He is now stronger against aliens, but again, we want to try and avoid attacking the aliens if we can. I see that we are starting to see the AI expanding now, which is obviously going to happen. But if they get a little bit too close, maybe we will have to get aggressive with them. But this is one of those games where the more cities you have actually works out better for you. Marines, you are now fully healed. I mean, we could try and get this resource pod, but actually being able to get to it is slim to none. If we do move on to this tile, though, I mean, obviously we get the river crossing, which is a bit of a pain, but we might be able to get to it. It's certainly not outside the realms of possibility. There is a siege worm there, though, which we do need to keep our eye on. So for the time being, I'm just actually going to leave you on fortified, and you're not going to do anything else. You are going to continue. How far did we get down here? We got a fair distance, but not all the way. So we will carry on scouting around. We're probably very unlikely to find resource pods. Hang on, are they actually willing to give me 1 energy per turn now to peace out with them? Fine. That worked out well. If only we could do that with all the AI. City's still growing. Well, our outpost is still growing, as it were. Let's continue moving you down. Don't really want you to go through miasma, but it might end up happening. Clearing a forest has created 20 production for liqueur. That's not bad, actually, because that 20 production is 10% of what it takes to build the wonder. So that 20-turn wonder is now down to 13 turns already. So much so, I'm actually tempted to move that worker into this tile. And mind you, it takes 10 turns to clear the forest, so it'd only shave a few turns off. So it's probably not worth doing that. So we will leave that. Would have been an idea. If I'd have had multiple workers, I would have considered that as a possibility. But as it stands, I'm not going to bother. So keep moving you down. See what we can find. Still no alien nest there. But that is all I can do on this turn, so I'm going to call that the end of the video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Civilization Beyond Earth, as you can see my wonder being built there in the sea. And I'll see you guys next time. So until then, goodbye for now.